Well, I'm live officially. Sorry, guys. I've been trying to let me know if you can hear me. Hey, Drew. Hey, Black Dragon. Excuse me. I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to multitask and get a bunch of things done all at once. This is supposed to be my normal Wednesday show. It's 4.5 hours late, but you know that's all right. It's just how that is right now. Let's see if I can get you guys elevated so you can actually see me properly. I haven't eaten much today, which is not normal. I normally take very good care of myself, and okay. So anyway, all right. So watch out for the video. Just listen to the voice because I got to get this under the laptop. So hang on, guys. We're going for a ride. Hopefully it's okay. All right, there we go. Sorry, it's been quite a day to say the very frickin' least. Anyway, so a lot has gone on. And I don't have enough light in here. Okay, well, that ought to help at least a little bit. Okay, noise. Hopefully, let me know you can hear me. Drew, if you're in a rest break. Okay, Drew, if you're here, let me know if you can hear me. Black Dragon, if you're here, let me know if you can hear me, please. It's about a minute and a half late, but I'm here. So, okay, wanted to do kind of a short live. There were things that I really wanted to talk about. Some of it, a good chunk of it got talked about today on a show I was on the Rift Nation Network, on the Rift, RIFT Nation Network. They're on so many different streams. The only two that I can keep track of are Facebook and YouTube. And I apologize to all the folks and to Howie and you hear me. Thank you, Black Dragon. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. I apologize to Howie and all the folks at Rift Nation Network because I had all kinds of tech problems trying to access, which doesn't typically happen, and it somehow, the only way I was able to even log in, it ended up shooting it over to my stream on my channel as well as theirs, and when I don't have permission, that really freaking upset me. And then Sue had said it's okay, and she and Howie are tight. So anyway, I significantly apologize, Howie. And you'll hear from me. Get an apology in writing, because that to me is a big deal. So anyway, here. Yeah, there we go. Sort of, maybe, I don't know, whatever. All right, so one of the things that I wanted to talk about today on my channel is what we talked about on Susan Swanbeck's show on Raven's Flock. And I'm going to call up some pages because I had to minimize everything. My laptop was getting way too hot. It's 90 plus here where I'm at, which is in the summertime that can happen. I'm in Washington State, so it can be quite the conundrum. So, and I cannot see chat at this second. because I'm overheated and hot. What did I do? Wait a minute. No. Move. Move. Silly shit. Okay, let's see if we can do this to where I can see chat. Hello to the 2 people in chat. Excuse me. Okay, there we are. I can actually do this. Yes! Multitask with this. This is the first time I've done it this way. Okay. All right. So there's been a couple things I've been thinking about. Hey, Alien Universe. It's good to see you here. So there's been a couple of things I've been thinking about, and one is ET Abductees, which of course I've been thinking about quite often. And now that the government has even minorly, are recognizing non-humans, where it's at least being semi-discussed. I want to talk about ET abductees who may not remember their abductions because of what are called screen memories. What the ETs, there are specific races that abduct humans. There are specific races of ETs that abduct humans for different purposes. And whether or not you agree with that, disagree with it, whatever your viewpoint is on it, it is happening. I'm one, and I'm here to tell the tale about it. And it's my parts of my life story. Whether you choose to believe that or not, that's fine. If this is your first time here, welcome to Restore Belief with Nikki. I'm Nikki Jacobs. I'm a psychic medium and an ET abductee. We have on this channel, this channel's been going for a year and a month. And I've been consistently pushed since 2019. 2018, 2019, that I should be doing a YouTube channel. Hey, Shell Ashley. I haven't checked. Oh, God. Today's Wednesday. Shell, I'm trying to remember when I checked email last. I think it was Thursday of last week, I think. It's either Thursday or Friday morning, hours of Friday morning. I'm not 100% sure, but I haven't gotten there. My day has been just a live wire. I've been up almost for 24 hours. I tried to have a 4-hour nap. That didn't work. And I'm on a real short time crunch because after I'm done here, and I still need to eat. So if you see me eat, I apologize ahead of time. This is pretty much my only opportunity. I managed to get 3 bites down and two vitamin pills and a prescription down. So kind of a big deal. So today has been hopping, including dealing with a supposed necromancer who attacked me psychically. So when I say it's hopping today, it's been one freaking thing after another. So I managed to get an 1-hour nap in. So Shell is saying completely understandable. I emailed you a little video about castor oil. Thank you for your help and said I am on track with everything except have questions about potential abductions 8 years ago. Yeah, we can talk about that privately if you want. And FYI, I'm glad you mentioned castor oil, Shell, because I was going to comment. I had a right here. I had one here and I had one here. I had lumps forming, and I know what they are. That's not anything major. It has to do with blood sugar and all this. Whatever. So because I've had, I keep calling it a rash. It's not a rash. It's a hormone patch, and once every, I don't know, 10, 15 years or so, I get them. And I'll be damned if that castor oil, when I was putting it here, I also put it up here, not even thinking of these. They're almost gone. I kid you not. I'm like poking and prodding, and it's right here. There's one here, and barely. I mean, but it's so minor. I am just like, guys, get yourself some hexane-free organic castor oil. I don't care what brand. Get it. Use it. Oh my God. To minimize, because these things were starting to get big. I was looking at seeing a dermatologist. I'm still gonna go do that at some point. But I mean, these things are almost gone. That is huge. I mean, the mark that I had right here, that's almost gone. Go get yourself some hexane-free organic castor oil. Oh my God. Touting that big time. It just blew me away. So thank you, Shell, for mentioning it, because I totally forgot. Yeah, you're welcome. She says thank you. Okay, so let me read the rest of this. Yeah, we'll have a chat over that. I am doing a live broadcast at between 12:15 a.m. and 12:30 a.m. my time, Pacific time, tonight. So in about three hours and change, almost 4 hours. But anyway, because I've got another show I've got to be on. So today's, like I said, been a busy day, been a busy girl. Okay, so here's what I wanted to talk about. All right, so been thinking about ET abductees, and because the government has come out and actually talked about non-humans, I want to bring up that, and it popped into my head like in the last 48 hours or so, about blood donating. And it popped into my head mostly because I went, oh, I was thinking after all this stuff went on, all this stuff calmed down. This is what I was thinking years ago. I would start to donate blood again, if I even could. And so that had been in the back of my head, right? And it hit me in the last 24 hours. I kid you not. Propel, sponsor me. I kid you not. I will promote the ever-loving petite out of you. Sponsor me. Not a joke. Oh my God. Yeah, and I products that I dearly love and like, I will promote. I'm not joking on that. So I mean, because if I find something that I truly love and like, and that's a big deal to me. That's a really big deal to me. And I've always been known as the information lady. There's reasons for that. So if I find something I really like, I'm promoting the out of it. Anyway, so that's how I came about the idea of blood donating. So it didn't hit me until essentially yesterday, but 24 hours ago, that if abductees, not if, but since ET abductees are being guinea pigs in a specific way or whatever way for the ETs and for certain factions of the government, humans who are also participating in some of this as well, just an FYI. And I'm specifically talking about humans in government who are working with certain races of ET. There's not a lot, but there are some. And if those abductees, ET abductees, may not remember because they have screen memories over their original memories, like I have had, and many abductees do. This is very, very commonplace. And those ET abductees are donating blood. Now, I'm not saying the blood is contaminated by any stretch of the imagination, but what I am saying is that what's so special about our specific blood and our specific genetics that the ETs are using? Yes, there are so many answers to that. I understand. I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I have answers for that. However, at the same token, when it comes, that's for their use. But what about for our use? That's my question to you folks. What about for our use? When our blood, I'm not saying it's been doctored or altered, but yet at the same time, there are situations. Now, here's something I'm going to read to you via permission. I literally have this person's permission. And there goes my phone. And what do you want to bet? I turned everything up sky high so that I would hear it because so much shit was going on today. Okay, yeah, I did. All right, so sorry for the sound. Hang on. See if I can hit mute for a second. Well, apparently it's not going to do it, thankfully, because that dang thing is, when it's turned on, it's loud as... Okay, so, beep, beep, yes, I know, beep, beep. Come on. Come on. Oh, catch up, play catch up. I know you're an old phone, that's the other thing. I love Samsung. I'll promote the ever-loving beep, 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 out of yet. Which you already have, people, I know, I get that. But I need a new phone. And I dearly love Samsung. Okay, so via permission. Oh God. Woo, my phone is slow tonight. Okay, 1 second here. I got to, like I said, it's been a busy okay, and that's just now starting to come up. This is not good. Everything is slow. Okay. Come on, thank you. I should probably read her permission first. Okay, which means going to where she's at. You can literally put anything from YouTube on your channel. I'll be back. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so keep me informed. Hang on a second, guys. I want to I want to do this permission. It's really, really important. Okay, that's not it. I'm almost there. Please feel free to republish that with my full name or read it on the show or both. I stand by it 100%. So that's a direct quote, speaking of which I should put a for bleep save. Thank you. Okay, screenshot. Okay, so I got my screenshot now. All right, now back to the actual reading. Okay, so here's what Amy Collins sent me regarding this subject of humans and blood donation, and you're an ET abductee. Hello to all the, because we've now got 7 in chat. Hello, folks. I'm kind of going on with the conversation that Sue Swanbeck and I had earlier this evening. This broadcast needs to end by 9:35 at the latest. My time. It's now almost 5 to 9. Okay, I will watch that later. There we go. So here's what Amy had said. On the physical side, they could easily put anything they wanted to during an abduction. In other words, into the blood. Nanotechnology, tracking monitors, or into the body, human body. Nanotechnology, tracking monitors, remote hormone regulators, even things that regulate genes, or all of the above at once. It would take many years before their modifiers would completely propagate, as most people do not accept blood on a year-by-year basis. At the same time, whatever they put in your blood could be specifically keyed to your unique genetic pattern. How would we know? We wouldn't. And we would not necessarily be able to test with the current level of technology. On the ethical side, are the abductees gambling if they believe that the ETs are not doing anything that would be harm? Let me read that. On the ethical side, are the abductees gambling if they believe that the ETs are not doing anything that would harm the wider population if they understand this dilemma? Yes, but a belief is not necessarily a fact. Could something like a blood probe or modifier be a precursor to an large-scale experiment or invasion? Yes. On the spiritual side, if abductees are limited to those with soul contracts, this could potentially cause violations of these contracts if the ET manipulated blood had genetic or other tracking technology in it. Do the ET races involved in potential violations care? Experience would tell me not really, which would increase my fears about potentials for them toying with the human race for any number of reasons. It leads me back to my standing opinion that they do not care about humans in any sense that we would understand, and the abductions are only serving themselves and the goals of their race. Any benefits, spiritual or physical, the abductee gets are usually a side effect, and when they are deliberate, they are given almost arbitrarily, mainly as a benefit that favors the ETs and not necessarily the abductee, though often they mutually gain a benefit. There is also a parallel question if the abductee mothers a human offspring, as this is also a blood transferring event. This parallels the wider questions of genetic ethics of parentage. Are two parents that know they are carriers of certain genetic conditions responsible for creating offspring, with probabilities of inheriting those traits truly responsible, even if the trait is considered treatable, like nearsightedness? So those were her statements. That was a statement from Amy Collins. And on many levels, I mean, I'm reading it whether I agree or disagree, because there are some really valid points in there. And I appreciate, thank you, Amy, for, yeah, Derek, I've got that on by law of 17 USC section 107, limitations of exclusive rights, fair use policy. Yeah, I've got that on my, in my, not my comments section, my description section. I always have that up. So, okay, so I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to keep this up. So here's my question. How many ET abductees, knowingly or unknowingly, that they're an ET abductee, donate their blood to blood banks with the thinking of in order to help other people? And it just popped into my head. What about if you're a organ donor? If humans are a form of guinea pigs for various races of ETs, and also presumably for other humans who may be involved with or without the use of ETs, then what is the abductee's blood going to contain? Or will it contain anything? Excuse me. And should it be donated to go into the local or mass populations who need blood regarding our human race? So that was what I wanted to talk about tonight. And I understand, go to space.radio. I need to finish this up. Those of you who watch space.radio, it just came on. I do not remember who Dave has on. Come back, listen to this later, finish it up. I have no problems with folks doing that. So, and it just dropped. It went 7 down, or went to, 7 down to 4. So that's fine. I mean, but, and I have no problems with that. None whatsoever. I love Dave's show and anyway, so I totally get that. But this is a question for consideration. If you are an organ donor, and or blood donor, and you're an ET abductee and know it, what's going on with your organs and your blood and aspects of your body? Because I'm learning that for me, The ETs have screwed with my hormones. They've screwed with my menstrual cycles. They've screwed with a number of factors. Now, am I going against them? No. At the same time, yes. But at the same time, I still want, and this might be, I was going to say converted. I meant convoluted. This might be, however you want to view it, fine. That's your viewpoint. But at the same time, I also, if they're not going to use me for having babies anymore, hybrids, I want to help. I want to be involved in helping the children that are, because they don't kill the babies that are that they call damaged. They call them damaged children. That's what I remember the phrase being. Although how long I will retain that memory again, because I'd forgotten it. I remembered it, forgotten to write it down. And because I forgot to write it down, it's not sticking. I remember that periodically. The memory of it comes and goes, and for whatever reason, it's coming back up right now. So the ETs that abduct me, they consider the children that are physically disabled, not mentally disabled, physically disabled, as damaged children. That was the term I remember hearing. Which I take real issue with that, but that's beside the point right now. That's one where I will frickin' yell and scream and carry on about, because that just. So, if I'm not going to be doing that anymore, and I have possible good reason for saying that medically, then anyway, it's just I wanted this talked about, and anyway, it's kind of a big deal. And I'm realizing that I've got my nights mixed up, which is fine, because that means I can take a nap and then get up and do my other things. My brain is mixing Tuesday and Wednesday together, and it's because I've had very little sleep. So I apologize, guys. Anyway, so this is supposed to be for Wednesday. But I had to get this information out. It's been bugging the whole living crap out of me. Point being, if we're being abducted, and we are, and say we don't know about it, some of us may never know about it. Yeah. Okay, so Shell is commenting on some stuff. And since I don't have to be up at 9:35, which is fine. Anyway, so here's the thing, folks. Yeah, they can. Shell, go listen to the show I was on from earlier. Go listen. It's on my page right now. I don't know how long it'll be on there, but go listen to it. It's the Riff Nation Network. God, it's such a brain fart regarding mixing up days. Anyway, go watch. It's a 1 hour and I think 10-minute broadcast. We talk about that. Excuse me. We talk. My knees up against the table again. We talked about different blood types being changed over. There are things that were discussed that you might be interested in that if you want to look things up. That's one. Another one is start watching shows from Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott when he's talking to Samantha Mowat. Excuse me, there are a number of other abductees, but I was going to say R. Keith Andrews, but specifically regarding women's issues, regarding pregnancies, regarding abductees, regarding all of those issues. The other one to watch, to obtain information from, to learn from, is the Zeta Connection. Zeta, and then the word connection. The Zeta Connection with Paul Hamden and SyAnn, SyAnn. Both psychic mediums, both dealing with abductees, both dealing with the Greys, aka Zetas, specifically Zetas. They're based out of Australia. The other one to look into on all of this is Suzy Hansen, Suzanne Hansen. She is in New Zealand. Matter of fact, let's put up some links here. Since I'm not in a rush to get done in an hour. Let's put up some links here so that you will have who you need to go to. So, okay, here's Suzy Hansen, based out. Oh, jeez. Let's try this again, shall we? There we go. Based out of New Zealand. She has had extensive ET contact. She's an abductee from very, very early childhood. So that's Suzy Hansen. Let's get you the Zeta Connection. Oh, I know you're in here. Why am I not seeing you? Come on. Did this not long ago, too. A couple of my other live broadcasts, you will have. There you are. There we go. If I click on it properly, it'll do what it's supposed to. Okay, so here's Paul and SyAnn Hamden. Here is their, there's their link. Yeah, definitely consume, Shell, because these folks, they know what the hell they're talking about. They are trustworthy. These are people that know what the hell. I mean, if you're okay, this is what I'm going to say to anybody else who's listening. These people, as an abductee, when you listen to them, you know they're spot on the money. Matter of fact, these are people I would put up in front of Congress. I mean, whether they're from Australia or New Zealand or whatever country. The fact of the matter is, these people know their stuff. Okay, so I just posted Samantha Mowat's YouTube channel. Let's see if I can. Okay, who else did I say? Zeta Connection, Samantha Mowat, Suzy Hansen. Oh, R. Keith Andrews. Where are you, Keith? Here's our Keith Andrews. You want the men's side of stuff as well as a plethora, and I do mean a gigantic amount of information regarding ETs, regarding all aspects of whether it's ET propulsion systems for their ships, whether it's genetics, whether, I mean, you're talking scientific stuff. Okay? Go check out his channel. Kid you not. Guy knows what the hell he's talking about. Okay, so, hang on. I want Spaced Out Radio, but I want the ones that Samantha was on. Hang on a second. No, I don't want history, Nikki. I want my playlists. That's the word I was looking for. Playlists. Who the hell was I just looking? Oh, Lorien Fenton. No, I want Samantha Mowat first before we go into Lorien and before we go into Miesha and okay, there's Samantha. There you are. No, that's Pamela. Oh, my dear, where the heck are you? I know you're in here somewhere. There you are, Samantha. Okay. Oh, dear. Okay, we gotta stop that. All right. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to post all of them if I can. I'm going to hit share, copy. Okay, this is Samantha. Oh, hang on a minute. Whoopsie doodle. Okay, so there is that. I said that. Now here is the link. Damn. Okay. So there's the link for that. Here's her talking about MK Ultra and psychological stuff, psychological programming and SSP information. Okay, so Samantha Mowat. Nikki. Oh, I am tired. All right, now, come on, click. Okay, so there's that. Oh, I think so. Shell's asking about, have you seen that HemiSync stuff? Yeah, I couldn't tell you at this second. My brain is kind of fried at the moment. Okay, here's another one. How many years ago was this one? 4 years. This one's from 4 years ago. And you will see, or hear rather, I'll see and hear, why I highly recommend these individuals. They are hardcore experiencers. They go through the ups and downs, and ups and downs, and ups and downs of being an experiencer. This is important stuff. So, yeah, there are aspects that are good, there are aspects that are really bad, and then there are aspects that are kind of blasé and just bleh. So, know your stuff. Yeah, endless conundrums. That's exactly it in a nutshell. Okay, so then we've got. I'm trying to go back. There we go. That's all right. Then we go back to. Carolyn, where the heck did you go? Lorien Fenton. This is from 5 years ago on SOR. Oops. These people, no. And then we've got Miesha Johnston. Pardon, I missed a T. Okay. These folks, oh, I'm not joking when I say these folks, no. Yeah, that's one way to deal with grief. Grief is not a fun thing to deal with. I've gone through too many deaths in my life. At one point, I finally just started screaming, which is not so good. I don't do that anymore. There's a process to grief. Whatever you do, you gotta get through it. Okay, who I'm missing a woman. Melinda Johnson. That's who I'm missing. Okay. Whoops. Had to type. That's not her. Oh, brain fart going on, guys. Sorry. Melinda, dear, where are you? These folks know what it's like to be abducted. Leslie, Melinda Leslie. You. Okay, I don't have a link for her right now. I'm getting overwhelmed. So, this is important. Just do your research. I mean, if you are an abductee, or suspect you are, how ready are you to make the real realization that you are? Or is it just a want? Been down that rabbit hole. Telling you the full-on realization that I was, and then I started freaking out. I have memories of being at my mom's girlfriend's house in the 70s in her apartment, getting dropped off. And it was the wrong ETs. And I went running and screaming. They dropped me off a block and a half away from where they had taken me. And yeah, I still have nightmares, well, periodically, but I still every once in a while have nightmares of I can't get beyond the nightmare of the running a block and running to what I considered and construed as the safety of Sarita's apartment. Yeah. And the only true... No, that's not right. That's not true. I was going to say the only missing time that I have, but that's not accurate because I've got little sections, but they aren't like other people's, and at least none that I've heard so far, and that is worrisome to me because what I've learned from this one specific race of ET that do abduct, they do care about making sure that your clothing is on correctly. They're not ones that, like the other ones, they don't give a two shits. Or you wake up out in the backyard trying to figure out why you're eating a stalk of corn during the summertime. and you don't remember being up out of bed. Or camping in the backyard, and you find yourself in the corn patch, and you're like, how did I get here? Oh, she's sleepwalking again. What do you mean again? I don't remember sleepwalking. I don't remember any part of that. Never had any issues with it before. There are weird things like that, but there are not many of them. Very, very few of them, in fact. So, anyway, so my most important thing about talking about. Sorry, guys, I am not checking chat often enough right now. I will go back and read, because I'm sure there's plenty of things that need to be discussed. But go in. Start asking questions, because now that the government is dealing with even approaching the subject of this, even though they're approaching the subject of this being specifically regarding the financial side of it, because that's what they give a shit about more than anything else. They don't give a shit about ET Abductees, to be quite blunt, and that's my opinion. They don't care. The only time they're going to care is if it's happening to them or anyone in their family. And even then, how do you approach it with the Congress? How do you deal with that? The only way you're going to be able to show it and document it is via certain folks, and those folks are the ones that I gave names to, gave the names of and the links to. And Keith has already had his experiences with government, so he knows firsthand. Hell, so does a couple of the ladies. They know it firsthand, so but think about this. If you're an ET abductee, do you donate blood on a regular basis? I know people that do. They don't have a realization that they're an abductee, though. I know it. But it's not up to me to tell them that, because I'm not going to stand there and freak them out. They have to come to it on their own realization, on their own knowledge. If they suspect and they start asking questions and I get asked about it, then yeah, I'm going to have a conversation with them. But not until then. That's not my job this time around. And that's probably why the psychic bitch from hell, the one who I have talked about on a number of occasions, why she most likely didn't tell me. It's probably why she gave me the book. Back to that damn book. Anyway, so there were copies of. Anyway, I don't even want to. Anyway, so just think about it. Yeah, Black Dragon missing time? Never! What year is this? Yeah. Oh, God. Stories. Anyway, all right. So this is, like I said, it was 9:30. I'll go a little bit longer, but there are things that I do want to watch on days. And I really got my days off. Wow. That's because I've been up too long, didn't get a nap in, and had an extensive day. And having to deal with what I dealt with regarding being attacked psychically. And I said it once on the other show this afternoon. this evening, depending upon where you are across the United States or the globe. I will say it again. I got attacked, and I told one friend that I immediately got pissed off. I felt the energy. I felt that it was extremely detrimental. And I fought every aspect of me not to go into higher consciousness, because if I went into higher consciousness in that mode, that person would no longer be a psychic. I'll protect myself, but I'm not. Now that I know, no, not going to happen. I've had that conversation before. I've dealt with that crap before on a couple of occasions, one of a couple actually. So, it's been a very bizarre day today, to say the least. But go in, watch the Rift Nation Network, watch Ravens flock on the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, and she's calling it A Night with Nikki, or The Night, or A Night with Nikki. Watch today's episode. They're not being dated, but it happened. 4.5 hours ago. 4.5 hours ago. So, hey, Christine. Yeah, I need some deep rest. Deep rest. Some good sleep. Anyway, the checkout. This is supposed to be for tomorrow's show. I got my days mixed up, which happens when doesn't happen often, but it does happen on a rare occasion. Anyway, so go back in, think about what was talked about on today's show. Really think about if you're an abductee. Do you donate blood? Do you not donate blood? Are you going to consider yourself an organ donor because you're an abductee? And honestly, here's the scary thing. Where does the government fit into all of this? They don't give two shits about people's health anyway, in my opinion. And that's all I'm going to say on that, because anything else I say publicly is going to get me shut down, probably permanently. So, yeah, I have very strong views on that, and it's stuff I have not really talked about. So, anyway, so rewatch. Okay, so here is. Gotta find it first. Oh, see, it did it on. Yeah, that's not where it's supposed to go. Alrighty, so let's try this again, shall we? We want the Rift Nation Network. Rift. There you are. Give them a like and a subscribe if you like what they talk about and what they do. Okay, so paste. There they are. look into them. Think about what was talked about today. Susan really talked extensively about her blood being changed. That's no joke. Going from one type of blood to another type of blood. Think about why that could be done. Because honestly, I don't know. But at the same time, if that kind of, and she's not the first one I've heard talk about it. She's not the first abductee I've heard make statements like that, where it's literally documented. For the others, it's documented in medical charts. Oh, you're one blood type. Oh, we thought you were that, but no, it must have been a mistype. You're this. This is what your blood type is now. Oh. So they discount it as, so the medical community discounts it as a clerical error, basically. It's not a clerical error. I mean, if it's registering in our human sciences as one, and then 20 years later, and it's more than one person is registering it as that one blood type, and it's showing up as a different blood type years down the road. Yeah, that's call into question stuff. So that's kind of a big deal. So she's not alone. Go give it a listen. Listen to what she has to say. And just an FYI, she's a damn good psychic. Damn good psychic medium. So, but today was about ET Abductees and government. I'm in the United States. I'm in Washington State on the west coast of the United States, Pacific Northwest. And since government is talking and dealing with classifying non-human, whether it's craft, aircraft, spacecraft, whatever the frick you want to call it, yeah, it's look into this, because if government is opening the door in this way, here's something else to open the door on, folks. All the medical stuff. What about people who've talked about having an arm removed and re-sewn back on? Or having an organ removed and put back in? Excuse me? There are abductee stories that talk about those situations. I've had surgery on my throat. I've had it on my ear. I've had carpal tunnel surgery. Why would they do that? They wanted me alive for a specific reason, for their purposes, but yet also for mine. So if I'm to be kept alive, questions I have. If I'm to be kept alive, then what are they going to continue using me for? If I'm going to be continued to be used for their purposes, were those my concessions? And my memory has a screen memory put over it? Were those things that they wanted that benefited them? That's number one. I really don't want to have to shut that thing off. I've got I can't remember what the hell it's called. It's an air filter. It was over 90 here today. And this living room gets toasty. Way too freaking toasty. And having that air filter on is like kind of like having a slight air conditioner on. It's a brick. I don't remember the name of it. Big monster thing. Anyway, works really well. So, those are things to think about. What is their purposes? What is their use? Believe me, I'm very thankful that I'm alive. That I'm alive because of them? Yeah, I'm thankful however it's happened. But what is their purposes? There are things I want out of it. I want some of my screen memories because I already know that I've got had a conversation with them. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it in phases because that will make Nikki go insane if I remember every single one of them all at once. If we just rip the Band-Aid off, you'll go stark raving Looney Tunes, man. Can't handle all of that. No human could. The brain cannot handle all of that all at once. So if you go in and you do, how is it called? Regression hypnosis, which I'm all for. Have I done it? No. I've been consistently told not to because my memories will come back to me. That's humans telling me that. Psychic humans telling me that, as a matter of fact. And actually, no, I'm not going to say, I was going to say that, and I'm not going to say that. So, and I know a couple of hypnotherapists. Had a couple of conversations. So, I mean, if you, and that's just my personal experience. If that's what you want to go for it. Do it. But know there are consequences. What are your specific consequences going to be? Are you going to be able to emotionally and psychologically handle what you remember? There's so many aspects of this. A lot. And it's a really big deal. And oh my God, that's pain. That's heartbreaking. Ouch. So there are things that I really want to know. Oh, that's good. The starting to swell, so is the foot. So know what you want. Know it may be different than what you expect. Product. Works wonders, folks. Nerve pain works really well. Anyway, start to pick up. You do what you have to do. You do what you have to do to live and survive. Do you have the support system? That's the other thing to think about. How well is your support system? Can they handle this subject? Because trust me, I found out the hard way. There's only one person who can even barely handle it. The others can't. And that's not fun. It's extremely hurtful, extremely painful. So, and I've been finding out yet again. Christine, it can be minutes. It's homeopathics. So it's like already, those two are already gone in my mouth. I sucked on them, but one of them broke apart behind this tooth. And it'll be it's usually pretty quick. For me, but you got to realize I'm not a normal physical body. I have an extremely high metabolism. Yeah, for me it's quick. Like I said, I have an extremely high metabolism. I don't know what it is for anybody else. I started out with one because you never know. And then I found that 2 and 3 for me really work best. What is on the packaging specifically says 2 tablets every 2 hours for 2 doses. Then reduced to 1 tablet every 4 hours. When it got really, really bad, I did 3 and dropped it down to 1, and then picked it up to 2, and then dropped it back down to 1. So that's what worked for me at the time. And the funny thing is folks that are in the live chat right now, I'm only catching fractions of what you guys are talking about. I do apologize for that because you know me, normally I'm very much into dealing with this and dealing with chat and talking with you guys. So the fact that I even caught that is kind of a big deal tonight. I can multitask, but not that kind of multitask tonight. So my 12:15 a.m. is going to be technically on Thursday and not tonight. So I'm going to change that. And in fact, I should probably do that right now. Okay, let's get this over here. Go live. Go over to manage. Yeah, I need to change the date. Got the wrong damn date on here. It needs to be Thursday. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I need to be able to go to bed tonight. There we are. Okay, so we got the date changed on that. Well, I'm still cognizant. Drew, I just read that. Thank you. Drew, Nikki is spot on, Shell. I'm always there for Nikki. She's there when I blow up her paranormal telephone. Oh my god. Yeah, I am. His dad and I talk quite often when he ends up with a new phone. It scares the holy living crap out of everybody. Where are you? Oh my God, are you okay? Nobody's heard from you in 2 days. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and his dad is like, he's okay. Let it go. He's okay. And I'm like, okay, I trust you. So, yeah. Sorry. See, stuff's kicking in, but not kicking in. Okay, I really need to deal with chat. Yes, blueberries are good for. Yes, I agree, Christine. Especially if it's in your stomach or mouth. It's also phenomenal for the brain. For me, blueberries wake my brain up. So for me, blueberries and kiwi fruit. The green ones, not the yellow ones. Although the yellow ones can do that, but the green ones have more one of the B vitamins. I don't remember which one at the second, but yeah, kiwi fruit. One whole kiwi fruit will wake your brain up like live wire. So will about a cup of blueberries. So anyway, true. Believe me, when I dial Nikki, it's like church bells of size of those big old windmills going off. Yes, blueberries and raspberries and cream berries are good for. Yeah, I think you meant. Oh yeah, antitoxin. Yeah, I will never eat kiwi. I should. Yeah, I understand that there's certain things that I know I should, but I don't. So, but I'm all for. I'm a person who is all for making food your health, turning it in for your like a health food type of thing uh, for your body. There are certain things that I will not eat. One of the techniques that so if there's anybody who's dealing with bariatric stuff, one of the things that I learned dealing with and working with bariatric clinic, and one of the things that I learned in counseling gigantic years ago, I mean, we're talking 30 years ago, was that if a certain food that you dearly love creates a body reaction, think of every time you see that box of whatever, or that can of whatever, or that bar of whatever, or that container of whatever. Think of that food item and overlay what your body does to it. So if you have the shits, every time you see that box or container of whatever, you'll never want to touch it again. If you have histamine blisters, hives, intestinal distress. If it's intestinal distress, think of it as intestines right across, overlay it right across the. But that's being a vision. That's using your imagination to overlay that kind of thing, and it will help you in not ever going near that food again. Excuse me. That's one of the reasons why I don't go near Taco Bell. Everybody talks about how they love Taco Bell. The only thing I loved about Taco Bell were the back in the day were the Mexi pizzas and the little. It's specifically how they fried their Oh, the little potato things. Can't think of what they called them back in the day. Those were the only two things that I loved. And it's fine one day, and the next day I could never touch it again because it's just, I see the Taco Bell symbol and I think of what it does to my body. I'm like, nope, never go in there again. And it's the same way with Dairy Queen. Can't go near a Dairy Queen. Because of what happened to my body. It's I can't. It's what certain foods do to my body. I'm like, nope, never go near that. So you gotta do what's in your best health interest. And oh my god, I got hit by another mosquito. So yeah. Anyway, I'm babbling. This whole thing was to specifically be talking about the medical aspect of what it's like to be an ET abductee. Think about that. Think about where you want to. Think about where you want to be regarding your medical your medical stuff. Think about how it's affecting you. And if you're a blood donor, do you believe that that's going to make a difference for other people in a negative way? Then don't do it. If you believe that there's no difference, do it. I used to donate. I talked about this on the show on the Rift Nation Network, Raven's Flock show. And made the statement, yeah, I was donating blood from, it didn't register with me. I totally, it went so far above my head, and now I'm like, wait a minute, folks. What kind of things are they doing? Is it, I mean, I know it's not something that's going to harm anybody else, but at the same time, I also know that they do certain things, such as they bag and tag you. I mean, hello, you get tagged. And if you, excuse me, had a tag device in your body and it's no longer there, guess what? They could be putting it in your aura field. I found that out the hard way. I just absolutely shocked me no end. They removed it out of my body, and I'm like, what? And it actually made perfect sense to me when I started researching it with them and with my spirit guide, one of my spirit guides who is an ET. And they really didn't want me to know the information, and I got really rather nasty about it. Found out that, yeah, it takes specialists to put it in the auric field. They have to bring somebody in. If they're going to do that, they have to bring in a specialist. And I was like, and this was before I knew and understood the device that they put on my forehead to leave my body, but take one form of my higher consciousness out of my body and travel it with that secondary device, because there's like a two-pronged device, and it goes over the forehead. It's not as big as my hand, but it goes over the forehead It does what it does, and then they take off a section of it, and that section of it goes to your. That's another subject. But anyway, yeah. So I was not happy about the fact that I even had anything. So anyway, I'm going to stop that now. We're at 1 hour 30 minutes, way longer than I ever anticipated to be. I have no idea where we're even at in chat, what is going on. Let's see. Uh, um, I'm in the green. Derek, you're in the green room later on tonight. Oh, cool. I'm gathering you're talking about SOR. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so here's the links. I did the links. Okay. Okay, hang on a second. I'm getting there. I'm scrolling quickly. Well, as quickly as my brain can handle tonight. Okay. My body doesn't. Show! I'm the same way. I recall being taken. Okay, she's saying I recall being taken to a child hypnotist twice as a kid. Don't think I went under. Also, as an adult, was told I can't be hypnotized. Yeah, I can't talk about that legally. Hit me up privately. We'll have a chat about that. Okay, getting back down. I'm getting closer finally. Drew. Nikki even knows about the dream I told her about. Yeah. Arrested on one planet taken to another planet, working for the court. Yeah. I'm not dismissing you. I'm tired and my brain is, I know. I have refused any hypnosis. Was there when sister-in-law got hypnotized and the guy just said I cannot be hypnotized. Gut says don't open up like that for me. If changes, we'll rethink. Okay, well, we're hitting the nerve pain stuff. All right. See, now I'm not in nerve pain. I'm uncomfortable, but I'm not in nerve pain. Okay, I think we're, yeah, switch. Ouchie, ouchie. All right. Great Taco Bell. That was a good commenter. Yeah, I understand the food issues. Let's see. Hope the relief stay. Oh, I think I'm almost caught up. Okay. Nikki, I'm glad that is over. Hope the relief stays. Yeah, me too. Okay. Well, that puts a plus, I think, Nikki. Dang, that nerve pain is. Yeah, it is a bitch. Yeah, Drew says I hear stuff too, Shell. It's just on another plane. Yeah. Like when I was in the shower this afternoon, somebody came through, and I should have talked about it because it's one of the first things I talked about. I wanted to get it out of the way. I had one thing pop up that was specific for Susan Swanbeck on her show, and then another one. So, but I don't know who it's for. No, bugger. What did I do with it? Snaggletooth. That was it. So when I was in the shower, I heard a message for Susan Swanbeck, and the second message that came through was, say the word snaggletooth. And I was like, why? Because who it's for will know that it's from me and that I'm saying hi and that you are a real psychic. And I was like, okay. So whoever it is for, the word snaggletooth is for you. Your person, loved one, whoever this is, says hello, thinking of you, and I know they're around you. I know that much. They didn't say it, but that was the sensation and the feeling that I got in gut instinct. So, no, it was all one word, Christine. Not snaggle and tooth, but one word. I was like, yeah, okay, I got it. It took me a while. And Sue actually confirmed the person that it was from for her message. I was like, well, okay, that's cool. So here's the thing. If you have abilities, one of the ways that your abilities can hit you is when you're in the water. Water is an element, obviously, to us. However, when you have abilities, you have flowing water. There's a frequency there. It will play with your frequency, and it has a tendency to open you up a bit. Just an FYI. So taking a shower and not a bath can do that. Actually, so can certain... oh, there's a shift in here, finally. Oh my God, finally. Okay, now I gotta check to see, because we were at 90 for a long time. Feels like we're about 82. 70. No, somewhere between... No, we're lower than 82. Somewhere between 77, 78. Let's find out. What are we at? Oh, I was wrong. We're at 75. I'm also extreme. The other thing is, sickle tooth. The other thing that I'm very sensitive to is barometer pressure. So if you're a psychic medium, and I didn't understand what that was, and my grandfather was part of the Coast Guard. One of my grandfathers was Coast Guard. And he actually talked about, because he was part Coast Guard and for a long time, he had a lot of barometers around his home, and he and my grandmother's home. And he would talk to me about it. And I finally, it wasn't until, oh God, I must have been about 13 or 14. About 13 or 14 that I started putting things together on a minor basis in regards to barometers and how I felt. I was just beginning to put that together. And right around 25, I started putting it together again. And then when I was about 32, it was really put together. I mean, it hit me hard. Okay, hang on a minute. What top chat? I want all chat. Hello. Thank you. Just show me the entire freaking chat. Would you please? Oh, got it. Okay. Shell, I think when water is running versus stagnant still, yeah. Okay, so here's something that you can do. Super easy. Take a shower when you're in the water. This is because I haven't had enough food. When you're in the water, and of course because these have been sitting out instead of being in the fridge. Sorry, my apples are going to be odd colored. Yeah. When you're in the water and you think about, and it's relaxing, think about releasing. I'm not talking about body movements and all that shit. I'm literally talking about releasing energy. Let it flow out with the wastewater. Some people do clearing energy from the feet. Use the water. I'm a double Pisces, which is also fun sometimes. Not. Many times it can be, but it really means that you're a psychic if you're a double Pisces. I mean, it's like, yeah. And there's a whole bunch of other aspects of my chart. My is it neonatal chart or natal chart? I never remember. Anyway, so There are many aspects that are water this, water that. All correlates across the planet. Really fascinating. But when you're in your shower, you can use your shower water not just as getting you physically clean, you can use it as getting you energetically clean. And because I'm an elementals girl, always have been, have been since birth, couldn't get me out of a water, a river, a lake, a pool. Could not. A couple of times I got my ass whooped, but when I was a kid, because I wouldn't come out of the pool. I wouldn't come out of the river. Yeah, it's just, yeah, that, the last time I think I was, 8 years old. Yeah. Get your, I had my butt whooped on wet skin. It was not very often my mom paddled my butt. Not often at all. But when she did, whoo! I made it a point. Anyway, so releasing, you can use elementals. You can release energy by having your feet in the sand on a beach. Getting playground sand, putting it in, those, if you're hand washing dishes, not a dish drainer, but a dish pan, have two of those, one for each foot. Fill it with a little bit of sand. What I use is I've got two shoebox hold plastic totes. They're little. They're maybe only about that big, long enough for my foot, wide enough for my foot. They're specifically designed for shoes, with a lid over it, and times I've used sand. Most of the time, I use one for each foot, specifically for cool water. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Good grief. And so you can actually release energy that way. The same way with sand. I mean, it literally, there's something about the energy of the sand that it's like it sucks it in, and then you throw it out, throw the sand out. You use it in, mix it with potting soil or whatever, use it for cactuses and other things. I wouldn't personally do that because I know what the energy is, and you've created essentially like dead energy for the plants. So personally, I would put it in the earth, mix it in with soil that's in ground. Do it that way because it'll revitalize that sand. But yeah, I just throw mine out. It is not worth the energy, literally. Um, Black Dragon. Wish I had an ability. Black Dragon, hun, you probably do. You just may not recognize it yet. I'm not seeing anything psychically or picking up anything. Actually, I'm getting. Take that back. I'm getting. You need to. Something about looking into. It's not accounts receivable, accounts payable. It's something to do with accounts, but I don't. It's not. Trying to figure out what they're saying. There's a form of an energy. Yeah, you've got an energy ability. Well, that's interesting. Drew, yeah, a lot of Aries can do a lot of different things. Some Aries don't recognize that they can, but yeah, you're welcome, Christine. Pink Himalayan salt, lilac, and lavender is good for cleansing, rejuvenating. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that can be used for rejuvenation. I use different things than a lot of other people. If I can, personally, I will use. I'll use God, Epsom salts, baking soda, red rose petals or oil, um, almond oil, I can't think of what it's called. Oh, cocoa butter melted. Or cocoa butter in an oil format. Um, Tea tree oil has always been a long-standing standard for me. There's a number of others that use what works for you. I did a lot over the years of doing those tests. You got essential oil in little essential oil bottles. Do that and put it on a wrist or figure out what scent works for you. I used to love gardenia. Used to love roses, certain kinds of orange scent. And rose is very specific, so is gardenia. I'm not all are made or created the same. So you've got to really watch, make sure it's organic, make sure it's, if you're dealing with essential oils. There's a lot of bases that you can use to help. And Drew's right, pink Himalayan salt, sea salt. So I used to do a lot of this all the time. Had a dermatologist who, when she went to meet me, shook my hand and she literally grabbed my arm. And we went to shake hands and she goes, "Oh my God," and pulls me in. And I'm like, "Whoa." And she grabs my arm and and she goes, "What are you using? I have never felt skin so soft." I was like, "Seriously?" And so I told her. I said I make up my own lotion. Excuse me, my own after body oil, and I make up my own day lotion. Um, and she was like, "I want the recipe," and I'm like, it's specific in the sense of the amounts, but these are the 5 main ingredients. Anybody can buy them anywhere. And I said, but it's after shower. I said, I don't do it any other time. I don't have any other time because I'm dealing with kids and I've got a busy life. And back then I had an excessively busy life. So yeah, agreed, Shell. I have two naturopaths who told me that I should go to Bastyr. And one of them told me that I should be, well, actually, one and a different one told me that I should be talking to a manufacturer to produce my own creams, because of the kind that I make up and create. I had doctors and nurses. And the funny thing is that it wasn't until years later that I had the doctors and nurses, actual many different kinds of doctors, many different. We're talking over 20 nurses who are working regular hospital hours, working their asses off. This was before COVID, just before COVID hit. And my mom was in the hospital a lot. And I'd have nurses coming to me going, a nurse friend named whatever the nurse's friend's name was, told me that I needed to come to you to get a quarter size drop of your cream. And I started laughing. And I'm like, bring them all. By that point, I think I had like 16 different nurses on over the course of 2 weeks. Word got around. And they were like, you got to write this recipe down. What are you doing? This is lasting. I still have all those recipes. Lotions and potions. What the hell did I just get? Why am I getting buzzed on this? Oh, fun. Wednesday will be sunny and hot with high temperatures in the 90s with mild to upper 90s expected for the South Sound area. Lovely. Oh, I don't want to go through 2 weeks of 90s. I can't do 90s. I get really sick in the 90s. Anyway, yeah, there's so much competition now, but to have that many nurses, I literally had to make up a new batch. I kid you freaking not. I had to make up a whole new batch just for the nurses that were coming by going, I was told I should come to see you. I was there almost 24/7 with my mom anyway. My mom was very, very ill. The doctor even, one of her final doctors, that specific stay actually said, yeah, go ahead, you can use it on your mom now. And I'm trying to remember how long it was before. I think it was on her 4th or 5th day that this one specific doctor, and they even, I think there were 3 doctors at that time, and all 3 of them were like, what are the ingredients to this? And I was like, I wrote it on the bottle. The bottle's sitting right there. And they'd pick it up and they'd read it, and they're like, oh my God. And I think I had like close to 25 different items in it. But the nurses were commenting on how it was, I was going to say blood-brain barrier. That's not what I mean. How it was competing with 2 really, I guess, well-known creams that helped the nurses, because they were constantly and are, I'm still assuming, antibacterial hand sanitizer. Couldn't think of the name of it. See, I'm too tired. And a nice little bottle of it. I'm just, not going to show that one. It's not my favorite by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, but it does the job when I need it. Although I do have, oh no, that's in my purse. My son and future daughter-in-law gave me one that is really good. And it's homemade by somebody they know, and I was like, oh, that's phenomenal. That's better. I was impressed with the hand sanitizer. Better than what I make. I was impressed by it. It takes a lot to impress me. So anyway, I'm babbling. I need to go. He was in charge of what? Are you freaking kidding me? You haven't been seen yet? I'm getting text messages from somebody. Well, that's the thing, Shel. There's so many. There's such competition out there. I mean, it would have to be pretty much. I'd have to sign the recipe over. And I'm one to where I get real. When it comes to that kind of stuff, I will get real legalistic because I want the residuals. I want the monthly income. I don't want to just sell something outright. That's, yeah, it could be very potentially. But yeah, that comes down to a major financial. It's one of the reasons why I haven't done it. Because it's so costly. And you have to have the, not only do you have to have the quality access to a large quantity of quality ingredients, and I'm super fussy on that. But you also have to have, the funding behind you. I don't have the financial backing behind me to do it. And to have that many people, I mean, I wrote down almost, well, not every one of them, but I was going to say I wrote down every one of them. That's not true. I wrote down many of the nurses who came by. And they were all impressed. I mean, you get that many nurses talking about it who are on shift, who actually, I mean, and they took such good care of my mom at that hospital on that shift, on, well, not just shift, on many shifts. She was there for 2 weeks, in that room for 2 weeks. And I ended up having a medical issue. I collapsed. I mean, I literally, and they were like, you need to go to the ER. And I'm like, I know what this is from. Hospitals do air circulation. They have air conditioning and air heating per room, but they have air conditioning. And any hospital that I walk into severely affects me. It affects every aspect of me. And I'm not just talking the air conditioning. There's a pressure. It's a part of a barometer. It's how they regulate hospitals. And I know this. And the air pressure in these hospitals screw with me. They screw with so many facets of me. So one of the reasons why I hate going into hospitals. Another is because the the wannabes, the younger wannabes, the younger wannabe demons, the ones that are 900 years old or 1200 or 1500 years old, they like to scrounge around the morgues and the other places. And when I walk in, it takes them a while before they gravitate. And I'm like, you. And I don't like playing pussyfoot with wannabes. I get really pissy about it. I am dabbling. Oh, God. We've hit too many freaking subjects. So it's like when that kid was screaming, that when I was in the ER, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, or a month ago, or whatever. And she couldn't have been more than 2-3 years old, and she was having blood drawn. And God, was she pissed. Rightly so. Having blood taken is a nightmare for anybody. Doesn't matter if it's an easy stick or somebody like me that's a hard stick. And I know the terminology. But here's the thing. When a child is screaming like that, and you're in a hospital, they came running. And I am sitting in the waiting area of the ER because I was having an issue with my leg, and I got told that I needed to be seen immediately because it was possible DVT, which it turned out to be not. But because of that experience with the ER, I found out a great many things that I didn't know regarding my health. So for that, I'm very appreciative of. But it's one thing for a little kid to scream for a couple of minutes. It's a totally different ballgame when they're screaming for many minutes. And then they hit a pitch, a tone, and a frequency. And the second this little girl hit that frequency, I felt all the wannabes run towards her, towards a feeding frenzy, and I almost stood up on my legs that could not have held me for very long. And the person I was with looked at me, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No," because I felt them. And I was like, that cold day in hell, you go near a child. I will go hand to hand, face to face, combat to combat against you. You will not go near a child. And the next thing I hear, and I've talked about this. I've talked about this before. A month ago, and you'd have to go back in and go through not the live stream, but the timeline in the description box. It'll show it. And I was like, "You're dealing with me," and I started to get up, and as I'm starting to scoot my ass forward because I was sitting so far back up against there's a weird kind of bench, this padded bench that's not so padded, and I had gotten wedged a specific way, and so I'm scooting myself slowly forward because if I stood up too fast, I'd end up falling forward. That would have been bad, especially for the situation I was dealing with my leg. By that point, both legs. And by the time I was almost in the upright position, I literally got told, "We've got her. It's under control. We are her family. No one's coming near her." And I literally felt them. They had already surrounded her. many layers thick. And I went, wow. I mean, it was impressive. I psychically saw. What I psychically saw was this kid in a parent's arms, kicking and screaming. She was in no holds bar, combination freak out, temper tantrum. Old frickin' 9 yards. And I'm psychically seeing this. And it's not me being out of body or me being in my higher consciousness. I'm literally, they're showing me. And layer upon layer upon layer of her ancient family had completely surrounded her, and there were angels over them. This kid was well protected. And I remember asking the angels, is it like this when any kid comes into a hospital and you have a situation like this? And they said essentially yes. And I just sat there and I was stunned. It was the first time I'd ever experienced anything like that. And it was beautiful. I almost started crying, but it was to the point to where it was so beautiful and so awe-inspiring and so shocking that I remember trying to let it go. Yeah, Shell, that's exactly what it was like. I'll read that statement in a minute. Yeah. Excuse me, Drew. Excuse me, Drew just said, I remember all that, Nikki. That was a wild ride. Yeah, it was. Um, yeah, so um, it was so stunning and so beautiful. It's just mind-boggling to me. I mean, and some of the people around this kid and this family, it wasn't just around the parent and the child. It was they had literally surrounded. How do I describe it? They surrounded both parents because there were both parents there. Somebody that I could only assume was a physical grandparent, um, the phlebotomist, and I'm assuming a doctor. I somebody else in the medical field, and they literally surrounded it. I was like, wow. And they went through the walls. That's what I was seeing that just blew my mind was that you're seeing layer after layer after layer, and oh my God, there's a wall here, and there's more layer and more layer, and there's a wall here, and it's just stopping at this wall, but it's passing through this wall, and it's just like, ah, mind blowing, just mind blowing, beautiful, but mind blowing. And it's something I probably will never ever forget. Um, it's just wow. Oh dear God. Okay, so Shell says, you know what, Nikki? When you told that story about tripping into the hanging tree, I felt like the little ones were steadying you afterwards. Yeah, they were steadying you. It wasn't just them steadying me. They were. Um, Once I got my complete footing underneath me, I was just so awestruck by going, oh my God, that my balance was okay. I had shifted my, it's going to sound very graphic here, but I had shifted a butt cheek a specific way, a hip a specific way, and ended up, um, barometer just shifted again. Uh, all right, let's find out. What are we down to now? Something just shifted. Yeah, 73. Okay. My temperature shifted. No, barometer shifted too. Anyway, oh no, sorries about it. You're fine, Shell. I know different that what you were just describing, but that came to my mind and I think out loud. Sorry, no worries. Black Dragon, Andrew, tell him not to tell Nikki. Oh, dear God. Oh, what the hell are you? Drew's dad and I don't talk all that often, Black Dragon, but he does talk to me periodically. So sometimes he has to yell because sometimes I don't hear him like I used to. And there's a reason for that. Noise on here. Well, the other thing is that I've got a fan here, a fan down here, a very loud what the fuck is it called? A very loud whatever the hell that thing is behind the screen, and then there's a very loud one over here. What did I hear? Just hear? I have no idea. Drew, the boy might have been mistreated in one night, but will love and protected in the other. Boy, what boy? This was a little girl that I was talking about. Anyway, we've gone up and down in chat and in people. So I guess this is going to be my live tonight. It wasn't anywhere near what I thought it was going to be, and it really tells me just how far out of it I have been. So in other words, ask me questions before I gotta go. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes and then I'm gone. 10, maybe 13 minutes at the most. So ask me questions. Then I really do need to go because I need to take care of me. That means I only have 2 shows tomorrow. Aha! Yay. Anyhow. Any questions coming in? What the hell? Oh, different screen on the TV. But let's find out. Let's find out if I can see anything tonight. Sometimes it just... Well, that's... First word I heard was nose. N-O-S-E. To me, that's just too blatant obvious. In the sense that, hello, everybody... I mean, scientifically, everybody's got a family nose. Hello. Actually, I'm psychic. To me, that's not. I mean, I know that what I heard was psychic, but still, or mediumship. Okay. Ow. Yep. I agree with that, Black Dragon. Believe in yourself, trust yourself, and most of all, love yourself. Yeah, even when you're going for shit. What the hell? Oh, I still did it wrong. I got the wrong damn date on here. Good grief. All right. Still need to do this, do that. And there we go. Now I've got the correct date. Yay! All right. Come on. No. Okay, Shell, I literally just heard, quote, not your time. Do you know what that means? I don't know what that means for you right now. I literally just heard, not your time. That could mean anything. Fascinating. I want to know why they're saying not your time. What's with a river? If it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, don't force it to make sense. Don't put it into anything, okay? I'm literally hearing and seeing the river. Oh, so that is relevant to you. Okay, thank you for the confirmation. I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely keep a journal, Shell. That's kind of a big deal. That's one of the hard things that I had to learn early on. I could not understand why I kept very specific at home again. That's gonna kick. Why I kept very specific items, letters, and different things regarding documentation. Now I get it. Timelines, that's the other thing we talked about on the Riff Nation network today, was that timelines not only shift, but so do, oh crap, I can't remember, dimensions. Yeah, validation is appreciated. Trust me on that. I get a lot of shit for being um, not who I am, but what I am. I get a lot of shit for it. You would be surprised. Um, and that makes things hard. Some of it you just take with a grain of salt. You just, whatever. Seasoning the mix. It's seasoning the mix of your life. Salt and pepper, seasoning the mix of your life. And then there are specific moments where it's specific people, where it's not seasoned. It becomes something. And that's where it gets really hard. Ha ha! Hey, darling. Old school written journal. This is one of my many psychic journals. This is one of many. That's an old one sitting there. Need to finish something on it and then put it away. Put it into my little storage container. Excuse me. The other thing that can help with that, if you're a tech person in any way, is literally make notes and screenshot them and then crop them down to where they become like memes or JPEGs. They turn into JPEGs by doing that. And you've got dates on every one of them. So, and then just toss them onto the computer into a file folder with a month and the year on it. And you'll have every one of them. And then just keep those. I hate looking at Karen. I just despise that. But I had to have some food. I don't use Samsung Notes, no, but I understand the queen of the memes and the screenshots. I understand that really freaking well. I don't use anything like that on my. I don't use the notes or anything like that. There's reasons why, and I'm not getting into that one publicly. That goes into a security issue for me, especially with the government assets. Besides, I've got an old phone, old security on the phone. And they've already seen everything I've got on my phone. Do I give a shit? Not really. And they know all this, you all. It's just part of this frickin' lifestyle. It's annoying as F, but it is what it is. It's not like it used to be. It's not every freaking day of the week of every month. End of every year. There for a while, 3 years, I was like, I had about enough. There were times I was really not a happy camper. Yeah, I just don't do that anymore. I tried doing it and for me, it didn't work. I'm glad it works for you though. I mean, you've got to find something that works. Here's the thing. If you're an ET abductee or you suspect you've got paranormal going on, keep a written journal. Keep one in, hell, if it comes down to it, keep one in every room. I mean, I've even thought of changing up in my bathroom because of the shower incident today. Putting a little, what are they called? Little tab, little sticky tab with a hook, and putting a little pad of paper attached to that and a pencil, not a pen, not anything that could be screwed with moisture, because it's in a bathroom and you're dealing with a shower. So, that way I can write stuff down when I get out of the shower and I'm getting spirit messages and, because I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm going to be here for a few minutes. You're doing this at the beginning of my shower? And you're expecting me to remember this 20 minutes later while I'm drying my hair and because it's like it goes out of my head. So yeah, I'm literally thinking about so that way it'll get, even if it's a post-it note, it'll get to my psychic journal. And yeah, I mean, I put stuff down. You have to. You get that much information where I was like coming out of, well, this was a while back, but I was coming out of my bedroom through the hallway into the kitchen, and somebody starts in, and I let them have it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I am here. I'm not okay. And you're pulling this with me now, and you expect me to remember this? Are you serious? That's not okay in my book. You've got to be very careful. Oh dear, hang on a minute. Excuse me. That one was loud. I feel that one. Okay, Shell, if you've got 30,000 images in one of your screenshot folders, get that over to your computer. And I would highly recommend putting it from your computer to a flash drive to a locked down, secure flash drive, or a locked down, very well secured. I just saw you. Oh my God. I'm going to have to check that one out. 2 hours, 32 minutes in. I think I just saw another orb come right up. But I'm not exactly sure at this second. Anyway, 232. All right, so yeah, time to archive. Definitely chop them down into subject matters. Or put them into, I mean, it just depends on how you go about it. I do understand this. I have thousands. Yeah, the only time I get into procrastination, being a pro about it, is during my healing times. Certain healing times after an injury, certain healing times after grieving. Grieving really helps people to procrastinate the ever-living shit out of things. I've seen that time and time and time again with different people, and it's hard because you got to get yourself out of that procrastination mode, and getting yourself out of that is kind of a difficult thing to do. One of the ways that I do it is get myself into a business sense. Revert back into how my family was, because I was raised in a business family. Which is probably why I could meet millionaires and not be uncomfortable. Millionaire. Did I say that correctly? I think I said that correctly. I've met many millionaires, and some many multi-millionaires, and not be uncomfortable. There have been some that have been arrogant assholes that I'm like, yeah, then I'm uncomfortable, and I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Or it's a business thing or something, and But most folks are not like, I mean, they're not like the average Joe. I mean, not, there's nothing, it's the business community. It just deals differently with things. Does things different. Mentality is completely different. And then when you've got money, you're dealing with a completely different mindset, and that can make and screw with things. So yeah. Yeah, things happen. A mosquito in here that nailed me 3 times. Once on my arm. That's, yeah, right. That one, brother. Which is bad. Oh, and that one. Nope, nailed me 4 times. So that red spot right there, that's a mosquito bite. That big thing, that welt that's growing. And I got one on the back of I got 2 on the back of my ankle. And one on the back of my leg. So that's 4. Okay. Yeah, it's a welt, but it's got a mosquito bite in the center of it. This is what happens to me when I get bit. Right here. Plus the other thing is I found a divot in my arm. Got really pissed off over that. I mean, like, really pissed off. Um, does it feel like someone little is rubbing your upper back? No. There's not many people that have abilities, like really hardcore abilities, that can actually do that with me. There's only a few people that can actually do that with me that I know of. That can actually, you can feel them. Um, yeah, I understand that, Shell. No, I think I'm just too tired too. Too much going on. I didn't get any sleep for 24 hours, and then finally got 6 hours of sleep. Couldn't sleep anymore. Was wide awake, and then did a whole another 24-hour session essentially. Um, yeah, I know people. A couple of them are really, really freaking good friends that can do that kind of stuff. There's friends who have abilities who don't just send you energy, but can actually be there, and it's like they're physically behind you, rubbing your back, or rubbing your shoulders, or helping your knee better, or making your foot better, or helping you rub your head and removing your headache. I mean, there are people that can do that, and I know some. Um, those are true healers, real true healers. Anyway, I said this was going to end. It's like we're past, so. Um, yeah, that reminds me, quite bluntly, that reminds me of ETs. Anyway, So I will see you all. See you all in. Excuse me. Probably an SOR the next couple of nights. And then probably Thursday because I'll be too tired Thursday, late Thursday night into Friday. So, ow. Boy, you are really starting to hurt. What else? There's a few shows that I'll be watching too. There's a few folks that I want to wish very glad tidings to. Two individuals who are visiting with each other. I want to ask a question, and every time I think of it, I get the old gib slap at the back of the head going, Nikki! I've got so many things I want to say, but I can't. So I wrote it down last Thursday. I wrote it down Thursday, dated it, timed it. We shall see. So it's psychic visions that I have had, or a vision that I have had, and I wish you well and have the best time. Anyway, yeah, that's a specific kind of energy work show. And if you're seeing them, no, Drew, it's still there. It's both of them actually are still there. The one isn't as nasty. It's not. That one is still painful, and so is this one, but it's not as big. Anyway, yeah, it's if you're doing that kind of energy work, you need to be protecting yourself, like hardcore, and you need to get the hell out of here. Sorry. You need to come back and talk to me later. You ain't doing it now. Sorry, I just saw a beam cross. Anyway, make sure that you are well protected. Make sure that your environment, your home, you didn't see them, but you knew that they were there. How did you know that they were there? So you showed fear, no fear, or it just simply caught you by surprise that you didn't have time to feel fear? This I'm curious on. I picture doing that for a friend with permission. I have light. thing from sky threw me in hands, but when we got there, suddenly ripped 5 demon things out of his neck and tossed them. Didn't hurt him. He had been not feeling well, and I didn't tell him about that part till later. Kind of freaked because said the first time he didn't have nightmare about dark thing in his face that night. I don't see myself as that, and that caught me completely off guard. Just the light I pushed through them to push the pain out. I've enjoyed you and chat, friends. Thank you all, and that was just an off-the-cuff experience recently. It's weird. I didn't see them. It was so strange. He has, after near-death experience, I refused to mess with any of them. Truly caught me by surprise. I went to rub his neck, and instead I started yanking stuff out of his neck in fear. He just yanked and tossed out the screen porch door about 4 or 5 times in a row, and that was it. Did you use any kind of protection after that? That was truly it. Have you checked on him since? Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff I'd be asking. And maybe it's not the right time. I don't know what we call it. Okay, what did you do? Okay, so everyday check and... That can work. That can work too. There's a lot of things that can work in a situation like that. Yeah. God's light has a very specific intensity and very, very specific feel. It can really, really make an impact. Yeah. Okay, folks. I'm done. I'm draining. And I need to recharge. I need to reboot. So, yeah, I need to stick my feet in some cold water amongst other things. So, anyway, I will, if you follow the S4 Bunker on Spreaker.com. Whoopsie doo. Try this again. Whoops, I still hit the wrong one. Damn. Okay, here we go. Oh, for piss. This is... There you go. That's the show I'm on Wednesday nights. It talks about everything under the sun. Then we've got if you don't catch that live, you can go to this YouTube channel. No, it's not weird. It's not, no. Honey, what you're talking about is nothing new to me. I totally understand it. Okay, and the link that I just put in is for Eric Cooper's YouTube page, and there are a lot of Eric Coopers out there. I had no idea. But that's the link to his page, and he uploads every night that the S4 bunker is on, and it gets uploaded to his YouTube page. So if you cannot access the Spreaker live broadcast, you can hear it in replay on his YouTube page. So, and there are a number of years worth in there. So he headed up with a number of people, a lot of people, but he was in charge of it. And it was an emergency paranormal group. And they took in up to 10 cases per day when they were running there, and it was free. They're not doing that anymore. They did that, I think he said somewhere between 7 and 10 years, so they did it a long time. Anyway, take really good care of yourselves. Somebody is wanting me to say blessed be. That I think goes out to a number of people who goes to specific individuals. And something else is now saying keep prayers out for. That doesn't make sense. Well, I'm going to say it this way. Keep prayers out for your family and your loved ones. Anyway, I hope you have a good day tomorrow, and I will see you in late evening, early morning hours of technically Thursday morning. So 12:15 a.m. Pacific time. So on that note, take very good care, guys. Bye.